Got peanuts. But anyway, made for TV movies. They'd have like they would fucking have these things in the 90s, and it would be like about this like really fucking improbable thing, but it would actually like happen to people. And they had one. It was like there was this there was this like red-haired girl, this like ginger girl, and she was like eating breakfast with her family, and it's like her family's just like not gingers, so it's like it's kind of weird, but it's like, and she was the girl on the milk carton, and what they used to do when kids would go missing was they would like put their picture on the back of a milk carton because like everybody drank milk except for vegans, which were like they didn't really have a lot of those back then, but yeah, everybody drank milk. So if you had a kid that was missing, you could just like put him on the back of a milk carton. Hey, somebody's gonna see him. But I'm not sure how that actually like worked out. But for this girl in the movie, she saw her face on there, and then she goes into the attic or something, and then there's like this trunk about how her parents like fucking kidnapped her or something like that, and we're gonna like raise her as her own, and that somehow worked back then because I don't know, you just like yeah, I spilled coffee on my kid's birth certificate. Can I have a new one? And just like I don't know. It was like it was probably a lot easier back then to steal somebody's baby and raise it as their own. I mean, I'm sure that people try nowadays, but it's probably like a little more difficult to steal babies. But anyway, she like contacts the authorities or whatever, and they put her with her real family, who are a bunch of gingers, but they're like, oh, you're weird. We don't love you now. Oh, I guess her parents are, but she has like brothers and stuff, and they're like, oh, you're weird. We don't love you. And I guess she goes back to live with the family who kidnapped her or something. But yeah, they had a lot of stuff like that. God, I don't really remember like a lot of these like made for TV movies and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I should like fucking actually like track these things down and watch them because if I can get a hold of them. But they had after school specials too, and I don't really remember a lot of those. But those would be like somebody fucked up or somebody's like weird or they have some kind of like weird problem or they're just like different or something and they have to like cope with that shit. Or I don't actually remember seeing this, but I know there was one. It was called The Day My Kid Turned Punk, and it's about a kid who turns punk and wackiness ensues. I'm not sure. I'm sure it was probably like very inaccurate in terms of depicting like punk music and stuff, but I remember that there were like a lot of punk episodes and stuff. This one wasn't quite a punk episode per se, but that one girl from like Step by Step, she like wears like a red leather dog collar and just starts throwing like the goat rock sign and stuff and like headbanging in the backyard, and she was like a bad kid for the episode, and then like I'm not gonna be like a bad kid anymore. But that's kind of how they all went. Is like a character on a sitcom or something, though they will turn punk for an episode and I'll be like, whoa, it's just, but yeah. This was actually well before my time, I guess, but they had an episode of Quincy. And Quincy was a coroner who solved crimes. And then he was an old guy. And as an old man, he was very judgmental. And he would go around telling people, you shouldn't do things, because I am Quincy. And, you shouldn't have sickle cell anemia. That was actually an episode or something like that. But, the Punk Quincy, which I saw much later when it was on like FX or some shit. But it was like a kid does too many Quaaludes or something like that and stabs himself in the face at like the punk rock show. And it's like, Yeah, and so then Quincy starts, going to shows, and he's like, oh, I'm judging you. You have funny haircuts, and you like to mosh, and he just spends like the whole episode being judgmental. And there's like a girl who's, it's like, yeah, I'm punk now, and punks all like live in like these like really they live like hippies, and they have like beaded apartments in their not beaded apartments. They beaded curtains in their apartments, but they just do coding all day. That's what they do because they're punk. But God, there was a punk rock WKRP in Cincinnati where they had like they had this like Sex Pistols XP, I guess. I'm using a TV tropes term for that, and I'm sorry, I'm not a troper, but it's but yeah, it's like they were so punk that they didn't even dress up all weird. They got like suits because it was like doubly ironic and stuff. But uh yeah, there was that. And I think they trash a hotel room and be outrageous. And there was the punk rock Chips, and Chips was a show about the California Highway Patrol, and nobody actually used the acronym Chips for California Highway Patrol, but it did. And this is something else from like the early '80s when I was like a tiny baby, and that I saw later in reruns. But it was like punks versus new wave kids, and like the bassist for the punk rock band, there was like a brutal war with like the punk versus the new wave kids, and he would get up on the roof with like a crossbow and like sniper the new wave kids van or something like that. It's like yeah, you can't play keyboards. We're against that. And I'm like probably like fucking misremembering the shit out of that, but it's like that's what they did. That's what they thought punk rock was all about. It was about wearing funny haircuts and just doing drugs all day and like living like a hippie, and just except with like hippies, they don't shoot people with crossbows and punks do, because that was in one of the Mad Max movies. It was like they were all about like fucking crossbows and like metal boomerangs and shit, just like that. But God, fucking, I don't even remember what I was originally talking about. It's like I don't know. Made for TV movies. God, I'm not even like remembering this shit. But they had a lot of them. They had after school specials. It basically ties in with like somebody has a problem and there is conflict because of this problem, and then after soul searching and stuff, they decide that no, I don't want to do steroids all the time. There are consequences to things that I do, and they are bad, so I'm going to change my whole life around. And I don't think there were ones where like there wasn't a happy ending. It's like not like the after school special where Billy, he decides to go drunk driving, and because of that he dies, which full stop. I mean, which that shit can happen, because it's like I don't know, it's like serious shit, and I mean when you trivialize it, it's like yeah, I was, it's kind of it kind of takes away like all the meaning from this. Like it's like, oh yeah, I was a heroin addict for a couple weeks, it's no big deal, I got over it, it's cool. Yeah, I was doing heroin every day, and I was sleeping with my drug dealer, and breaking into parked cars and stealing things out of cars to sell to my drug dealer. And oh yeah, armed robbery. I was like, had a gun. I would go into the liquor store and give me all your money. I need heroin right now. But then I was better. I decided that that's not what I was all about. And like my family was like really suffering, so now I'm not on heroin. It's cool. But that's the thing. It was like all about like your feelings and your conflict and your family, your secret family that kidnapped you and kidnapped the redhead baby, because that won't arise any questions. And it was like really easy to fake ID in the 90s, and there were people on milk cartons, and it was awesome. So That's was that P? It wasn't PSAs. No, it was made for TV movies and punk episodes and a Quincy and detective shows and Rescue 911 and no, I don't fucking know about this shit. It's like I don't know. This is all old and happened a long time ago. So whatever.